Taberne Talks, here we go. I got a lot on my mind this week, so you're coming in for a really good show, all right? I don't have a guest this week because I think as we get into May, it's a busy time of the month. You know, people are on vacation, there are graduations, proms, going down the shore, Memorial Day weekend coming up. So I think it's tough to get guests to come at this time of the month, but that's okay. I think as we head into June, it'll start to loosen up again too. But I wanted to get this show out because I have some things to go over, guys. All right. There's a lot going on in the mortgage business, in the real estate business that I think I need to bring to the front of the line. Okay. You know, I almost said to myself, no, I'm not going to do the show this week because I have nobody coming on. But then I said, you know what? I have a page and a half full of stuff that I can get out to you that I think you need to know. Okay. So let's go. Let's get right into it. The number one thing that I'm seeing this week and probably the last 2 weeks, the problem with what's going on in the mortgage business and the real estate business, and you probably see me gripe about it on social media, all right? It's communication, okay? Communication, and I've said it before on these shows, and I'm going to say it again now. Communication is at an all-time low. And you know, I'm really, remember, we as loan officers and realtors basically work from home. So we're not sitting around a bunch of people all day, right? We're sitting by ourselves and we're trying to communicate with whoever we can on Zoom, on telephone, text message, DM someone on social media, whatever it may be, right? There's no responses though. Where is everybody? Why is no one responding? I want to know. Like, if you're in the middle of a real estate transaction, you're buying a house, you're selling a house, you're the title company, okay? You're the realtor that's selling the house, okay? You're the loan officer that's doing the deal for the people that are selling the house or buying a house, and you're not responding to anything. Why? This is a huge problem. And I talk to a lot of people in the business, and they're like, you're right, Alex, no one responds to anything. No one picks up the phone. No one gets back to anybody. No one responds to any text messages. It's like people are MIA, right? I don't get it. Like, that was never this bad. It was always a complaint in the past when I was in the mortgage business. Like, I can't get somebody to call me back. But now it's terrible. It's like, I've never seen it like this. Like, why is everyone just going ghost and they're just gone? Like, if you're in the middle of a deal, you got to respond, right? The deal won't go through unless there's everyone on board responding, okay? You know, especially if you're a client and you're buying a house. When me and my wife bought a house, 20 years ago, we were excited to respond to the loan officer. We were excited to respond to the realtor and the title company if they needed something, or the appraiser, whoever was trying to contact us to get what they needed. We would respond right away, because we were excited to get the house. Like, we couldn't believe we're actually buying a house. Nowadays, it feels like everybody's entitled to buy a house. Like, they're just saying, you know what? I'll respond when I'm going to respond. And when they finally do respond, then they're fighting with us saying, you know what? I'm not going to get you what you need because I don't think you need it. That's a problem. All right. If we're asking you for something, we need it. We're not asking you for something because we want to just make up a guideline or make up a rule and make you jump through hoops in order to get it. We're asking for something because we legitimately need it, okay? And you need to respond. You need to get back to us. As a realtor, a loan officer, if we need a copy of the contract, you need to get it to us that day. You can't get it to us a week later and expect us to still close on time, okay? As a title company, if we need title work and it's been 2 weeks and no one's responding to you from the title company to give you the title work, we can't close, right? As a loan officer, if a client's trying to call me and they can't get me for a week or two and we still have to close at the end of the month, there's a problem. I don't know what's going on. I don't, like, no one cares about hitting closing dates anymore. It's like, let's just, we'll close when we close. We'll do the commitment date when we hit the commitment date. I'll get you the paperwork when I get you the paperwork. I'll show up when I show up. Closing is set for 2:00 today. Everybody rolls in at 3:00. No, the closing was supposed to start at 2:00. Why does everybody just show up whenever they want to show up? Like, no one cares about time anymore. Listen, I'm super punctual. Like, you can ask people that know me. I'm extremely punctual. Like, actually, to a fault, maybe. Like, I actually yell at myself because I feel like I got to let up a little bit. But if I'm going to tell you that closing is starting at 2:00, I'm going to be there at 5:02. Okay. So that the closing actually starts at 2:00. I'm not going to roll in at 2:15, 2:20 and say, hey guys, oh, well, where were you? Everybody's sitting at the table, twiddling their thumbs saying, oh, well, what? We were supposed to close at 2:00. And then you just show up like this is a red carpet. And there's flashing lights and the paparazzi's been. What are you doing? We gotta go. There's other people that have other schedules that they have to pertain to. Your schedule is not everyone's schedule, right? A lot of times they overlap me for closings. Okay, so they'll make a closing at 2:00, then they'll make a closing at 3:00, and sometimes even 4:00. I gotta be at these closings, man. I gotta start 2:00. I gotta be out of there by 2:30, 2:40 in order to get to the next closing at 3:00. Your schedule matters because we want you to close. But then if you're not respecting anybody else's schedule, we got to move on. And it just goes back to communication. You've gotten closing notices the whole month to say what time the closing is. You're not responding to anybody to say, yes, I'll be there on time. I made a note here, ghosting. Ghosting is it good or bad? Well, of course it's bad, because when you ghost somebody, you don't respond to them ever again. Like, you'd completely go MIA. So let me give you an example. I've had 2 people this week that have reached out to me. They said we heard your name. We know you. We see you on social media. We've talked to your peers in the business. They said that you've been in the business a long time, Alex. We'd like to deal with you as a loan officer. Okay. They send me a quote from another lender. I look at the quote. I say, listen, give me a little bit. Let me look at it. I'll get back to you the same day. Let me just look at the quote, take it to my pricing department, see if we can match or beat the deal. Okay. I come back and I tell them that we can beat the deal. They don't respond at all that day, even though I'm telling them I'm beating the deal. The next day, I'm hitting them on the phone. Hi, Mr. Smith. I left you a message yesterday. I thought we were supposed to, I beat the deal. You got 6.5. I got 6.25, whatever it may be. I don't remember what the rates were. And still ghosts. No response. Not even a thanks. Not even a nothing. I don't even know you're alive anymore. You're gone. Well, where'd you go? Poof. And in midair. Right? Then 6:00 the following night, I get a message back. Hi, Alex. I'm alive. This is a true story. Hi, Alex. I'm alive. Sorry I couldn't get back to you. We wound up going with the other lender anyway, because the realtor told us that the other lender is just who they'd rather deal with. So I apologize for taking 48 hours to get back to you, or 36 hours to get back to you, even though you beat the deal. Have a nice life. Listen, guys, we work on commission, right? Loan officers work on commission. Realtors work on commission. Title companies make their money if deals don't close. Have the courtesy to tell us that you're going to go somewhere else then. Don't make me chase you. Why do we have to chase you? You chase us when you need something, and we respond right away. But when it's something that someone else doesn't need anymore, they just figure, oh, well, I don't care. I'm just going to ghost you. It's not right. Have the common courtesy to tell me on the first text, hey, I'm going to be going with somebody else, and that's it. Don't make me call you 3 times, text you 3 times, email you twice, and then all of a sudden you come at it nonchalantly and you act like I'm bugging you. You're like, well, hey, Alex, leave me alone. I went with another lender. Great. You should have just said that from the beginning. Like I said, I got a lot of stuff on my chest here today. It's not funny, actually. It's disturbing, right? But I'm laughing because it happens to me every week, but it seems like it's increasingly happening. And I don't know, I just wanted to get it out there that ghosting is bad. Communication is bad. You got to do better. We all have to do better. And if we're professionals in the industry, we got to do better. If you're a client buying a house or refinancing, you got to do better. Okay. A loan officer texted me this week and said, how about when someone goes under contract and they don't get you one document? They gave us pay stubs and W-2s up front originally for us to give them the approval. But the minute that they went under contract, they're completely MIA. You need an updated pay stub. You need an updated bank statement. They're gone. They don't respond for 3 or 4 days. And then they come back to you and they get mad at you. And they say, you know what, Alex? I'm a very busy person. I do a job, okay? And I got kids at home. So do I. I got kids at home. I do a job. But if I'm buying a house, I have to make time to respond, to get what they need in order for the deal to go through. Okay. And if I don't do that, I will not close. And this is something that I know is on the mind of all the people that work with me professionally, that they want to get off their chest. So I figured I'd get off my chest so they can get it off for them. So we move on. So I just wanted to get that out. The big question I'm getting this week is, what's going on with rates, Alex? Why are they not going down? Okay. Trump promised that they would go down. We got into the new year. You told us that the rates were going to go down. We closed on a deal with you a year ago, and why are the rates not falling like everybody said that they were going to? The average rate on the 30-year fixed this week was 6.89, and that was with 1 point. If you wanted no points, you were probably in the sevens this week on a 30-year fixed. I know that's a hard pill to swallow because we've been in this mess for the last 2 to 3 years now with these 6% and 7% and 8%, and everybody's waiting for that magic pill of 4 and 5%. I'm going to tell you, it's not there yet. Inflation truly hasn't gone down the way that they want it. And I'm going to be honest with you, there's a little bit of a match between the government and the Fed, between, a couple of the power figures that we watch every day. And it's just a match here of who's going to drop the rate and who's ordering who to drop the rate. And it's not happening. Okay. Another thing that's going on is, we still are getting these jobs reports that are saying that the job market isn't as bad as what they say, that things are hotter than what we knew. That is not the case, but unfortunately, that's what's being put out in the media. Okay. I follow this stuff. I read it every day. I watch podcasts. I watch webinars. It's really to a point where we just got to stand this thing out. Like, we're in a wait and see game. No one knows what's truly going on with these tariffs, how bad of an effect they're going to take on us by the summertime. A lot of these companies are saying that they're going to have empty shelves this summer, kind of like the pandemic, where they have nothing to sell because everything is too high. People are worried about their jobs. I've had multiple deals where people have either delayed closing or telling me that they're totally canceling because they are worried about their job, right? And they don't know, they don't think that they should close now. That's a problem. So that's not helping anything. And then rates not going down. Like, we get these little tinges of like, all of a sudden it's 6.5 or 6.25, but it only lasts for 24 hours. And then they shoot right back up. I've never seen a market like this. I tell everybody that I speak to, even the best people that I talk to, I've never seen anything like this. Like, you get these little blips of 24 hours where they go down. You literally got to act now or they're just gone, and then they just sit at 7% and they don't go down. Everybody's watching the 10-year treasury, right? The 10-year treasury dictates where the interest rates are, okay? Sometimes the 10-year treasury shoots down big time, but the rates are not following. I don't know why. I can't answer that question. 10-year treasury and the interest rates are not going hand in hand right now. There's a huge spread, and that's why the rates are not going down. Okay. There's another secret thing, I guess, but it's not secret. It's public knowledge that delinquencies on mortgages right now, specifically FHA loans, are at an all-time high. Okay. They're back to the financial crisis of defaults on FHA loans. Yeah, it's not just FHA, it's conventional too, but we're seeing a lot of the government loans, 30-day, 60-day, and 90-day delinquencies, people not making their mortgage payments. This is making it tighter in the back end for the investors to lend to you, okay? Because when we put your deal into process and there's all these delinquencies that are hitting the investors are making it tougher. They're putting more stipulations on the loans. They're putting more guidelines, and it's making it a bottleneck to get these deals through. So try not to take it out on your loan officer or your lender. They're trying to get you to closing. The realtors are trying to help get you to closing. It's a sign of the times that with delinquencies comes tightening. They're always going to tighten up if there's delinquencies, because then they don't trust that you're going to make your mortgage payment, right? So they look at all these new people coming in and they have no money down. Everybody has this FHA 100% financing, or zero down grant loans or state grants, or 3% down multi-unit homes or 5% down, whatever it may be, coming out with some crazy stuff, 100% bank statement. I'm seeing 100% self-employed. I'm seeing self-employed down to 620 with no income document. Things are really getting back to where we were in 2008. And then the delinquencies follow, which they're not really publicly saying right now, but the tightening in the back end I'm seeing on guidelines and things like that. So please be patient if you're getting into the business as a loan officer, or if you're buying as a buyer, or whatever you're doing right now, and you're seeing things really hard. It's because of what's going on these tariffs and what's going on in the industry, with delinquencies. So keep your eyes open. But I just wanted to lay that out there that that if you're seeing tightening, there's a reason why. Okay, so I wanted to touch on this, and I specifically titled it "Slow Months, Busy Months." Okay, slow months, busy months. Keep your ego in check. Okay, listen, I've been in the business. I just hit my 29th year. Okay, I've had really, really busy months through my career. Right, I've been successful. That's why I'm still here. Okay, I've had really slow months in my career. Times where I was worried what was going to happen. Like if I don't pick up, it's a problem. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't really bring my personal life into the podcast. I try to leave it, off the podcast. Right. But let me explain something to you. Something happened personally in my life that, we had a death in the immediate family, and it affected my, my whole world. Okay. Personally. And, it affected my numbers too, right? It affected the way that I, because it's not normal when something like that happens. When it's that close to home, it's going to affect you. This is for the loan officers and realtors out there that may not be to that extent, but you may have something else happening in your life that is driving you to, not do the best numbers or the best things that you could do. It's not you. It's slow months, and you're going to have a busy month then. What I'm seeing is the guys that are having busy months, great for you. Congratulations. Are you going to be humble about it, or are you going to show us your ego? Okay. There's one thing that I said to a realtor a few weeks ago. They said, how do you do what you do still, and you stay grounded the way that you stay grounded? And, people want to work with you, and you got a really good name in the business. And how do you do that? And my answer was, I stayed humble. I never let it get to my head, right? I kept my ego in check. All right. I never thought that just because I'm having 3, 4, 5, 6 months of big money and big numbers that I was too good to talk to people, that I threw my guns around, right? And said, oh, you know what? Bow to me in the company. Bow to me as your processor. Bow to me, my own family. Bow, my friendship, bow to me because I'm making a lot of money. They don't care. Okay. Companies don't care if you're going to start throwing around ego. Okay. People don't care that you make a lot of money. Okay. Because one day you're going to have a slow month. I've had them. Listen, I've had streaks where I've had 2, 3 years where I thought I was God, like just rolling. Right. But I still stayed humble. I still remembered my friends. I still remembered the company. I didn't blow the company up every little thing that happened. I didn't, I kept my ego in check. Okay. If you don't do that, you will not last in this business. You won't last in life, period. I mean, this is a life lesson. You treat people, you want to be treated the way that people treat you. You cannot, in this business, act like you're just too good for people, because it'll backfire on you. You're going to have a couple bad months, and then you're going to come crawling back to those people, and they're not going to want to be friends with you. And they're going to drive your name into the mud. Listen, I'm not going to name names on this podcast, but there's loan officers that think that they're really, really good, and they are. And they walk around and they do a lot of deals. But guess what? Behind the scenes, you're not liked by many people. I've talked to them, and I like a lot of these people, and it's tough for me to talk bad about them, because I think that they're good loan officers too. I just wish that they would keep their egos in check, and they don't. And it's like I said, you got it. If you're not humble and you're not, saying to yourself, I count my blessings that I'm doing good right now, but something could happen to you. Listen, you could have a death in the family. You could get in an accident. where you're grounded. Someone in your family could get in an accident and you're grounded and you lose a few months and you got to get back on track and you got to remember them where you came from, right? Because you're going to want to go back to those people who helped you in the beginning, and they're not going to be there because you did what you're going to do. So I just wanted to touch on that because it was a slow months, busy months. We all want busy months, but we're all going to have slow months, and we're all not going to do the numbers that we thought we were going to do. And if we just keep the faith and be nice to everyone around us, it's easier to get through those slow months versus screaming at everybody, throwing tantrums, saying F you to everybody is just not the way to do it. Okay, so there we go. All right, so another thing that I wanted to touch on is having a plan and sticking to it. Okay, if you're gonna buy a home this year and your plan is to buy a home, you need to stick to it. Okay, you don't listen to the media and the media tells you everything is bad right now and the world is bad and you shouldn't buy a home. Okay, if you in your mind think that it's a good time to buy a home and you have a plan, I want to buy a nice home for my family. It's my first time. Stick to the plan. Don't turn the news on or listen to the radio or go on social media and say, oh, well, this guru, these so-called gurus who have never sold anything in their life, all of a sudden they become an expert, right? And they go on social media and they tell these people, I'm an expert and I don't think it's time for you to buy a house. That wasn't happening in 2008. That wasn't happening in 2002, even though the market was a lot worse then. In 2008, they were still encouraging people to buy homes. It seems nowadays, I don't know why there's encouragement not to. If I have a plan and I wake up in the morning and I sit down with my wife and I say, you know what, honey, we're going to buy a house this year because I want something to own. I'm tired of renting. There shouldn't be someone telling me I shouldn't. If I feel deep in my mind that I can do it, I have the money to do it, I have the down payment, I work every day, I have good credit, why not buy now? And this is not about, we'll buy now, refinance later, the rates are going to go down. I don't pitch all that stuff. Do I think the rates are going to go down eventually? Yes. Do I know when? No. Okay. So I'm no longer going to tell you that it's going to go down at the end of the year. But if you come up to me and say, I sold this nice house and I want to buy it and I'm qualified to do it, I make enough money and I have the qualifications, why not? It's an investment in your life. It's an investment that you'll always have, and you can always sell it if you don't like it, right? And make your money back. You don't lose in real estate. There's no, the real estate crash that everybody's wondering when's going to come. I don't know when it's going to come. It may come, it may not come, but you can't live like that. It's like me saying I'm going to cross the street. I may get hit, I may not get hit. Who knows, right? It's a 50-50 shot. Right? So it's a 50-50 shot that the market's going to crash. It may not crash, right? You don't know, but you can't live life scared saying, oh, I don't know if I should do this. If you like the house and you want to make an offer, then do it. Okay? And feel good about it because you made something of yourself to say that I made a plan in order to do this. And just because somebody on TV is telling me that it's not a good time because everything's going to crash is wrong. Okay. And I just wanted to get that out there because I'm talking to a lot of young people. It's their first time that they want to buy a house. They're in their 20s and there's such bad karma and media around them telling them not to. And then you see these stats that you're 38 years old, first time buyers, and the average age is 38. I wonder why. Because everybody else is telling these young kids who have the qualifications to do it that it's not a good time to do it. Yet they see this house that they like and they want to do it. Let them do it. Leave them alone. Everybody's trying to run everybody else's life. Let everybody live their own life. If they think it's a good time, let them do it. Okay, leave them alone. That's how I feel about that. So anyway, grants are great, right? Getting a grant is great because you get money towards your down payment and your closing costs, okay? But you need to qualify for them. I got a lot of phone calls this week. Hi, Alex, I'd like to get the first-time buyer grant. Great. Movement doesn't, okay? So I'm not shafting anybody away from the grants. Movement even has an in-house product, FHA, where they would give you up to 5% of your down payment and your closing costs. They allow you to finance it into the loan as a second lien. So listen, I'm all for it. If you need help towards your down payment, your closing costs, great. But you have to qualify. You just don't get a mortgage just because someone's offering you a grant. You have to qualify for it, right? And all these things that you see on social media, get this grant, get that grant, you have to qualify, right? I have to run your credit. I have to check your income. I have to get your income documents. We have to get your assets. We have to make sure that you fit the box in order to get the grant. I got a lot of people taking it personal when they don't qualify. It's not like they don't want to give you the grant. Every mortgage company wants to do every deal that they can. Okay. That's the bottom line. All right. The deal is that we have to make sure that you fit the parameters of what we need. So don't take it personal if you don't qualify. Make sure that you get your documents up front, get everything over to the loan officer, let them look at it, and then let them make the educated yes or no, we can do it. Okay. I wrote this quote down and I wanted to share it out. Right now, it feels like every day we're running a race, right? Every day feels like a race, especially in this business. It's tough to say who's actually winning them, right? I mean, every day is a go, go, go in the business, right? And in life, we wake up in the morning and we're just like, let's go, right? 100 miles an hour. You're a realtor, you're a loan officer, you're whatever you are in your own life. And you may not even be in the real estate business. And at the end of the day, you don't know if you're winning, right? Because you get up the next morning and then you do it again. I'm going to tell you what though, you are winning if you're doing it every day consistently, right? And you're doing something for your life to better your life. Okay. Whether it be, helping your kids through school, helping a spouse who maybe not working right now and you're the breadwinner of the family, helping someone do something. You're winning if you're building a business, right? As a realtor or a loan officer, we're building a business every day. We're consistently showing up. We're building a business. You're winning. It feels like a race, right? It feels like there's nothing but just a race every day. But then at the end of the day, you are winning something. You're showing consistency. And that's something that is hard to see. People that they don't have the consistency that they need in order to succeed. Okay. So be consistent every day, no matter if you don't feel like it's working, because ultimately down the road, it will work. Okay. Talked to a lot of realtors this week. Everybody seems like they're a little bit down. They're feeling lost. The inventory is still down. They don't know, a lot of them, where their next paycheck's coming from. A lot of them are wondering, should I get out of the business? Should I get a part-time job? What should I do? Should I just stick it out? There's a lot of feelings going on in the business right now. So I think that you just stick to your guns, be consistent. No matter how bad it gets, keep going. Okay. Because even though it feels like a race, you will see the light at the end of the tunnel if you just stay consistent. Okay. So that was that. Another thing I'm trying to post out, and this is for, buyers, sellers, realtors, loan officers. It's time to learn new habits and unlearn the old habits, right? The bad habits, right? And there's a lot of bad habits that we all fall into. But in this market right now, it's time to learn the new habits. I'm trying to learn new ways and unlearn the old ways because the world has changed. Okay. So what I mean by that is, if you're a buyer getting into the market and you're consistently making late payments on your mortgage or on your credit cards, I'm sorry, because you don't have a mortgage yet, on your credit cards or your car loan, it's time to stop doing that. It's time to unlearn that bad habit. The new good habit should be making your payments on time. Okay. It's time to learn to put money into the bank. If you're going to buy a house, put savings into the bank. Okay. Don't just spend every dollar you have and then apply for a mortgage and say, I don't have a penny. That's a bad habit, and a good habit is just save as a little bit of your paycheck. Listen, $100 here, $50 there, whatever it may be that you can spare, save it. So that's a good habit that you have, so that when you go to buy a house, you have a little bit of a nest egg, and you can buy, right? As a loan officer and a realtor, some of the bad habits are not prospecting, not reaching out to new people, not going to events. Listen, I just went to an event a few weeks ago at Chickies and Pete's. It was a professional event where you wore a name tag. I'm not used to that. It was like it felt like speed dating, right? And you introduce yourself and stuff like that. Listen, I went out of my comfort zone, but I did it. I went to the event. I met a few people. I have a few contacts. It worked. I'm going to try to do that once a month. Prospecting. I'm reaching out to more people that I've never done before. I've reached out to past clients that I never reached out to before. That I'm learning new habits. The old habits where I never went to an event. I never reached out to anybody. I never followed up with anybody. You have to learn new habits in order to succeed, and that's what I'm doing. So, one of the last things I want to add on the show this week is, and we're going back into it, guys. Bidding wars are happening every day. Okay, that's all I see now is bidding wars. The offer's due in by 5:00. Best and final by tomorrow at 3:00. Give us your best offer. Do 3 pre-approval letters, one for $300,000, one for $325,000, one for $350,000. Do one with 20% down, do one with 50% down. The bidding wars are getting heated again. The reason why is because I just think there's so much pent up people that want to buy, and they're tired of sitting on the sideline, and they're ready to go here. Okay. And they want to buy. And they've now come to the fact that the rates are going to stay in the 6s. I'm going to buy. I'm not waiting anymore. I will refinance whenever the rates go down, whenever they do. Okay. You need successful tips on winning a bid. Okay. Number one, you need the loan officer to call the listing agent after the offer is put in. Okay. So when the offer is put in, you call the listing agent, the loan officer calls the listing agent and says, hey, they put an offer in, and they're very qualified buyers, and I think that you should take this offer from them because I have them fully ready to go. Okay. Number two, your loan officer works on the weekend. You got to work on the weekend, right? The hottest offers go in Saturday, Sunday. And I was at a volleyball tournament for my daughter about a month ago. I'm going to tell you, it was Saturday. It was dead. It was like, I was at a volleyball tournament. Usually I'm taking calls, like there was nothing going on. All right. My phone starts blowing up at 5. Now these tournaments go to like 7:00 at night, right? I don't get home until 9:00 at night. It starts at 8 in the morning. They go till 7 at night. And by the time I drive home from wherever I'm at, it's 9:00 at night. My phone was blowing up at 5 p.m. This one wants to make an offer. This one wants to make an offer. This one needs a pre-approval letter. This one, listen, it's going to happen to you if you're a loan officer. And it's going to happen to you if you're a buyer, that these offers all have to go in on Saturday night or Sunday night or Sunday afternoon or Saturday morning at 7 a.m., whatever it may be. You need a loan officer that works the weekend. If you want to win a serious bid, you got to have somebody available. Okay. Number one, you got to have a loan officer who talks to the listing agent. Number two. Number three, the loan officer and the realtor have to work together as a team. They can't be fighting each other. The realtor's got to like the loan officer. The loan officer's got to like the realtor. They're both attacking the same successful thing that they want, and that is an accepted offer. In order to get an accepted offer, the realtor and the loan officer need to work together. Okay? They got to like each other. They got to work as a team. You got to find the combo. Okay? Don't just find a loan officer on the internet that works in Mississippi and a realtor who works in Atlantic City, and you want to buy a house in Philly. Like, what's going on here? Find a loan officer and a realtor that are local, okay, that work here as a team. Okay, they know each other. They like each other. That will get your offer accepted a lot better, because the seller of the house will see that, and they'll be like, wow, okay, well, this is solid, man. The loan officer called the listing agent. They know each other. They got a good, and it's Saturday night. They're both responding. Believe me, I've learned my stuff here. All right. And this is how to accept an offer. Okay. Know the neighborhood. Okay. If you're going to make an offer in that neighborhood and you're going to make an offer for a price, do your homework too. I mean, let the realtor do their homework for you as far as, I think you should offer this, but do your homework to know what you're getting into. Just don't go bid $100,000 over on a house and you don't even know the neighborhood. Make sure you know what you're doing. Once you feel confident that you know what you're doing in that neighborhood, then you make the offer. This is just my opinion, okay? Take it or leave it. But I'm telling you, a lot of people that I've done mortgages for are coming back to me from the pandemic, and they're telling me they made a big mistake. They went $100,000 over, $50,000 over. They don't know what they did. They bid on a house in a neighborhood. They didn't even know the neighborhood. They didn't know anything. They have crime on their street. They didn't know that was going on. Why didn't you know? You should have done your homework. Well, the realtor what? The realtor sold you the house and they tried to consult you the best that they could consult you. It's your job to know where you're moving to. Okay. You put $500,000 up in a house, you better know where you're going. So know the neighborhood. And my last one, how to get an offer accepted in this market, is making sure that the loan officer and the lender, if you have one and you're not going cash, can move fast. Okay. They can close quick. No, I need 6 weeks to close here. Okay. Too many times I've had realtors and clients come to me and say, Alex, I'm going to give you this deal because they went through a bank and the bank is telling them that it's going to take 6 weeks to close because they're too busy. They have too many clients. They can't handle the volume. Okay. A lot of internet companies, we need 6 weeks to close. Credit unions, we need 5 weeks to close. Go to a movement mortgage or go to another local lender that is more based in the neighborhood. Close 2 weeks. Close 21 days. Done. Close 15 days. Speed, right? When you make the offer and you're up against multiple bids, okay, from my understanding, I've always have a realtor calling me saying, how quick can you close? Because it makes the offer a lot stronger. If you guys say that you can close in 2 weeks versus they're going through a credit union that's saying it's going to take 6 weeks. The seller doesn't want to hear that. The seller wants to hear how fast you can close, right? They want to hear you're being able to close within a few weeks. So speed, okay? How fast can you close? Period. All right. So just to recap, and then we're done on that. Call a listing agent, work the weekend. Your loan officer works the weekend. Realtor and loan officer always have to be a team, know the neighborhood, and make sure that you can close quick. These are just tips, guys. I mean, listen, you can take it and leave it. I'm not an expert, right? So I can't say that I am on everything, right? But I know what I'm saying. I know what I'm doing. I've done it for 20 some years. So if you want to take my advice, great. I think that it'll help you. So we're going to line up some more guests coming up in the, I think the next few weeks, we're going to be a little bit hairy because of the holiday. But I think once we get through May and into June, I'm going to line up some good people for you. I'm actually going to bring back a couple people we had on because we just hit show 50. 40 something. Yeah, 48, 49. We're going to be on show 50. So I think for show 50, we got to bring back a couple of the pioneers that we first brought on and see what they're doing. See what happened. All right. I started in November of 2023, this show. So I'm hitting 18 months. Okay. So let's bring back the guys from 18 months ago and see if they've done anything. Let's see if they've actually did what they pitched on the show. That's what I think I'm going to do once. And I'm not going to tell you who you are, but we're coming for you. Okay. We're going to come for you and we're going to check. I'm going to play the video back from the show and we're going to see if you did and if your numbers are better and how you did. Okay. So looking forward to that. Stick to your guns, guys. Have a great week. Great holiday. Happy Mother's Day for the mothers that celebrate out there. And I will talk to you soon. Thank you.